Number 15 on our Cache Valley Media Group's list of the top 25 Aggies for this year is a defensive end transfer to Utah State, and it's Daniel Grzesiak. Grzesiak, again, played at Nevada, where he has played 34 career games and had 42 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 9.5 tackles for a loss to go along with 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 pass breakup, and 1 block kick. Played 12 games during this past season, finishing the year with 19 tackles, and now is transferred to Utah State. He was a defensive lineman of the year in his high school days when he was at Crenshaw High School in California. He has already graduated from Nevada in public health, so he'll be enrolled at Utah State working on a master's degree. He'll wear number 9, and that has been a very productive number for Utah State down through the years with football. 6'1", 240, junior, a transfer from Nevada, Daniel Grzesiak is number 15 on our list.
Yeah, I had a chance to catch up with Daniel Grzesiak at Media Day last week. He's a fun personality. He's fun to talk to, and based on his personality, I can tell he's going to be a fun player to watch on the field.
Yeah, it could be a big part of the locker room, big part of the team, and to be honest, so talk about him being number 15 on our top 25. If memory serves, I had him in my personal top 5, maybe even top 3, I think. I believe he's potentially going to be one of the best players on this defense.
That's true. You did have him really high. I don't have your list with me, but I do remember you put him really high.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I had him as. I might have had him number 2, I think. Basically, because I thought he was going to be the best player on the defense.
I had him number 12 on my list.
So I think he's going to be really good. You look at his numbers and also his snaps. He had 5.5 sacks, 6.5 tackles for loss, which isn't spectacular. But he played half the number of snaps as some of the top rotation guys in Nevada, and he was still producing that. So if you extrapolate that, he was putting up just as big in numbers. He played about half the snaps as Tristan Nichols, who led Nevada with 10 sacks, and Grzesiak had 5.5 sacks. So he was producing as much in limited time, and he's in all the previews I've looked at and listened to as much as they have for the coaches. There's so much praise for Grzesiak from these defensive coaches, and I just can't ignore that.
Yeah, a certain other publication had him at number 57 in their list of 60. I'm like, no way. No way.
Yeah.
This guy's going to be way more impactful. Now, this is a guy that maybe there's some question, is he an every down pressure guy on your defense? And that I don't know.
Yeah, that is the big question. Can he be
Is he a specialist, or is he somebody who's going to be applying constant pressure?
Yeah, and that's probably why he was somebody who only played half the snaps, is because he's very much a pass rusher. He's pure pass rusher. He needs to learn to become a good run stopper, set the edge on run. If there are mistakes you see him make, it's going to be in, overplaying it, a run play, and he loses contain. That's where some of his weaknesses and mistakes are going to come from. So it depends on how well the coaching staff is able to coach him up and make him into an every down guy by breaking him into the system and getting him disciplined so that he's playing the run well, and then also being able to take advantage of his pass rushing capabilities, which are fantastic.
When I spoke to him last week, he loved his time as a tight end. And he's a converted tight end, was going to convert to a linebacker, but then because of his speed and ability to affect opposing teams' passing games, he got moved up to a defensive end. But he would very much love to be a versatile guy who maybe from time to time could be pushed into a tight end slot now and then if you needed a physical presence on the line. But I'm not saying that I know something that's going to happen, because I don't. But he's a versatile guy that has a high motor and he's got speed. When I first saw him in person, I didn't think he was a big physical imposing presence. But when you watch the film on this guy, he's got speed and he has technique to get through and put pressure on a quarterback, where he may not have a lot of stats that show. There are other guys who have more tackles for loss or more sacks, but he definitely can get into a quarterback and make him hurry his throw or hurry his progressions. Yeah,
that is the thing. He's listed 6'1", 245, so he's definitely going to be more of a speed guy. I mean, Nick Henniger, he was listed at 6'2", 6'1".
Yeah, Henniger's not a physically imposing guy.
I think he topped out at 250, maybe 260 by his senior year, but he was definitely not these 280, 300-pound defensive tackles, defensive ends. But yeah, you look at, I went and found like Grzesiak's first career sack. He just sped right by the end and went and tackled the quarterback. That's how he got his first sack, just running by him. Very simple move, and just used his speed. And so that's what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, and Ephraim Banda, when I spoke to him last week, he said that Daniel Grzesiak has had, and I quote, has had a phenomenal first 6 months. And he stressed phenomenal, and I don't think he used that term for anybody else that I asked him about.
Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons why maybe I've not seen tons of film on Grzesiak, but the way that the coaches talk about him, you look at some of the stats and the numbers, there's a lot of potential there. Again, it will depend on whether or not he can be a good run defender. That's kind of where his potential is iffy. But he's going to be an impact player on this defense. I'm very confident of that. I voted him really high for a reason. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that.
Well, he looked great in the spring. He's receiving high praise through the summer, and excited to see what he can do in this fall camp. We'll see him and how things are moving along on Saturday at 11 a.m. in the first scrimmage for Utah State football. So that's number 15 on our list of top 25 Aggies of 2022.